Entropians, and welcome to our next installment of the Noob to CLD challenge. Where we left off last time, we had just started on the new planet of Toulan, starting from absolutely nothing and accepting the first couple of starter missions. What we're doing now is we're continuing on the starter mission chain. Starter missions are going to be an important part of starting off in this challenge. Where we have nothing, starter missions are the best way to get free stuff, to get us kickstarted. Every single planet will have starter missions, and just about every single planet will have some gear, some tools, often a weapon, and almost always some universal ammunition that they will give to you for free. Most of it involves running around and talking to people, sometimes hunting some small creatures, but everything can be done with the gear that they provide you, and they typically give you everything that you need to do the next step. So here we're doing the Toulan starter missions. Most of what's involved is running around and talking to people, running around and seeing the planet. It's a great way to get to know the planet that you're on. Here on Toulan, these starter missions are taking us to the various creatures and sending us on a small hunt on most of the different creatures. This is important. On Toulan, they have hourly, repeatable missions that will give you skills. These skills are very important, especially starting off. At our current state, we cannot use even the starter pistols that they give us at full capacity, and one of the easiest ways to lose PED in this game is by not using weapons that are appropriate for your level. So any skills that you can get on early on are great. So back to the starter missions, they take you around the planet. They show you the different sites, a few of the different important places to visit, and like I was saying, most importantly, where the low-level creatures of each type spawn. Now you can later use this knowledge and you can do the repeatable daily missions, or the repeatable hourly missions here on this planet, hunting just these low-level creatures to maximize the amount of skill that you get for the PED that you spend. And that's what you're going to see most with this Noob to CLD challenge. Either through markup, through missions, through skills, no matter what, we want to make sure that we are never spending PED for free. What I mean by that is everyone knows that trying to get a profit off of returns is a losing battle, no matter what you're doing. Crafting, hunting, mining, it's always a losing battle. So you need to make profit elsewhere. The dream is to make that profit off of markup through hunting, mining, crafting, to get that markup that puts you over that 100% of what you spent mark. But realistically, as a noob with almost zero skills, and more importantly, with no PED card to bankroll your efforts, what that profit is going to come from initially is through missions. At first it's these starter missions, and so the plan is to take advantage of these starter missions, not only the ones here on Toulan, but the ones all across the Entropia universe. Just about every single planet will have some starter missions, and so we will try to planet hop. Planet hopping isn't easy because you need to find transportation through space. Again, this is why we chose Toulan to start on. They do offer a free warp service for those born on Toulan or on Monria. And also this is another reason why we have joined an active society. Diabolical Dominions is Lorespade's society, and we've joined this one because there are active players. It gives us somebody to converse with, somebody to talk to the game about, and also it puts you in a community that can help each other. Specifically here, it puts me in a community where I can bum rides off of others. if I'm on a planet looking to get off a planet, and there are others on my society who happen to be going where I want to go, oftentimes they will be willing to take me along with them. And that's going to be key starting off to getting to the different planets so that I can do these starter missions and gain the free things that each planet provides. So let's talk about the plan here. The goal here is not to do a sweat to CLD challenge. That's boring. I don't want to do that. You don't want to see that. So that's going to be the goal. There will be some sweating here and there, but sweating will never be the primary income of this challenge. So how do we do it? Like I said, first we start off with these starter missions. We get to as many planets as we can for as cheap as we can, and we do the starter missions everywhere. This should give us a jumping off point, give us enough of a ped card to move into our next activity, which our next activity will be high payout repeatable missions. These ones aren't on every planet, but there are really good ones all across the universe. Specifically, the ones that come to mind are the Arcadia Moon 2-ped Universal Ammunition mission. That is a daily mission. You can do it every single day, and that one doesn't require you to spend anything. You simply run around and go to the various waypoints and return to your starting position, and you will get 2 ped of universal ammo. That is the cheapest and freest universal ammo that you will get repeatably, and so we will be doing that one. Other ones that come to mind are the Entropia AI mission. With that one, killing 40 AIs. Those will give you 2 ped of not universal ammo, but it will give you 2 ped of a kind of ammo that you can only use with a certain gun. And it will also give you 1 ped of that ammo, and it will give you 2 ped in TT value. And so that one, it will provide you with 3 ped TT total, and that is repeatable daily. That one does require you to hunt and to kill. The AIs are very cheap to kill. Spawning the AIs can be a little bit more difficult, but we'll do that when we get there. The next one that I can think of is the new mission on Monria. Well, not Monria, Desk 9. There is a new 2 ped universal repeatable ammunition mission. Again, on a daily timer. That one also overlaps with some blueprint missions, so you can get some blueprints that can either be TT'd, sold, or used. And then, of course, there are multiple daily repeatable missions on Next Island that will provide you with oil. So that's going to be the second step. In order to start any of those on the cheap side, it will cost we'll have to have at least 10 or so ped on our ped card in order to ensure that we have enough ped to cycle to get through the mission. Because the reward is only on the end of the mission, we need to get through the mission, or else the run is more than likely going to be a net loss. So in order to start that, again, we need to have at least 10 ped on the cheap side. Some of these require more than that. And so that's going to be the next step. After the starter missions would be those repeatable missions. After that, when we hit the 20 to 30 ped mark, we'll start investing some of that into trading. 20 to 30 ped is not a lot to trade on, and so you'll need to trade in the right items. So what we're going to focus on are the mostly free-to-play items. Vibrant Sweat, fruit, stones. These are things that on occasion you can get for a good deal. For example, Vibrant Sweat right now ranges from 1.3 ped per K to 1.6 ped per K, depending on where you are. And so if we can pick up a few K of Vibrant Sweat at 1.3, and then we can sell that off at 1.4 or 1.5, that's going to be a good source of income for us. Same thing with Fruit and Stones. Again, Fruit and Stones ranging around that 2 ped mark per K, and then reselling for slightly higher. So again, these will all stack on top of each other, so we will continue to do the previous step while we move into the next step. After we get our feet wet in trading on some of these items that can be acquired at a discount and sold for slightly more, we're going to move on to low cost but high markup hunting. So this is our first move into markup hunting. The difficulty with markup hunting is often that you need a large bankroll in order to make it work, because it often relies on selling your markup or selling your loot on the auction house. You need to have a stack that is large enough to offset the auction house fees while still netting you profit. So in order to combat this and let us hunt at a lower level, we look for things with really high markup, so that the stacks can be significantly lower while still offsetting those fees, or even look to trade them through a trade channel. So some of the items that you can start hunting at a low level with while still getting high markup. The ones that come to mind are Entropia, the androids there. The gears that drop fairly often have a great markup. They can be hunted at a very low level, and that overlaps with the AI mission. So Entropia is a great place to start with this. Here on Toulan, a lot of things drop basic leather extractors, which have a great markup. These creatures are very cheap to kill, and they also drop hides, various creature hides that all have good markups. So when we hit the 50 to about 100 ped mark, then we'll start hunting for profit. Up until then, we have to limit ourselves to only hunting when missions can fill in the rest. But at about that level, we can start hunting for profit, cycling the little ped that we have into ammunition over and over again, selling off the things that we can't afford to stack high enough. So these will be muscle oils, these will be animal oil residues. You will hear in a lot of places not to TT anything, and that is great advice if you can afford it. With our challenge here, and with us being unwilling to sweat our way to a CLD, we won't be able to afford to stack up everything to the levels that we need to, so that we can hold on to everything. So we will be selling off things with lower markup starting off, and just cycling that into the high markup items. And then finally, our next step after that will become trading. So when we hit the 100 to 500 ped value or bankroll, at that point we can start trading in some of these items that are of really high value, but the markup really isn't great. These are going to be your animal muscle oils, animal eye oils, your listerium, your fairly low markup ores and end matters. If you look at the quantity sold of these items every single day, it's huge. There's a lot of it moving, and so being able to buy it slightly under the daily or weekly price, and then just pricing it appropriately for your stack size, there's usually a bit of profit to be made there. For example, your animal muscle oil, which sells fairly regularly at about 101.5%. If you can buy that at 100.5% and then sell it at 101.5% in stacks of about 100 PED TT value, if you can do that, you're looking at about half a PED of profit each time you do it. It's not a lot, but the reason that we choose to do this is because the high value items are almost guaranteed to sell. There is so much of it moving that as long as it is priced appropriately, it will sell, and it will sell quickly. And so the name of the game is just going to be turnover, turning it over as quickly as we can and as often as we can to build up that PEG card. So those are going to be our starting steps. It'll take a while, but that should help us build up our PED card and get us into a place where we can look into more serious trading, potentially riskier trades, trading in items, selling them in the trade channel for more substantial profits. So yeah, that's the plan. Here in the background you see me running the starter missions. The Toulan starter missions altogether took about 3 hours to complete, going through the story. A lot of that is due to running, having nothing to start off. They do give you a vehicle with a little amount of oil. However, we are trying to conserve that oil as best as we can, and so we are using our feet wherever possible. So it was a lot of running around. Here at the end, our final balance after doing the Toulan starter missions, we are at 9.39 PED. The way that we're measuring that is everything on our account, everything on our character, on our avatar that can be traded to the TT, that is the TT value of everything that can be traded, plus the TT value of our universal ammunition. We will throw that in, we will include that in our account total, because in theory we can cycle that into mostly what it's worth. And so at the end of the Toulan starter missions, we are at 9.39 PED. We'll be looking to get off of Toulan as soon as possible. Toulan is a wonderful place for high markup, low cost hunting. Toulan is a wonderful place for repeatable skill gain missions, but Toulan is not a great place for high payout repeatable missions. The missions here at Toulan, they give great skill gains, but there are very few of them that are repeatable, that will give you either universal ammo or items that can be sold or traded for PED. So we'll be looking to get off of here and get onto one of the planets with more starter missions and with repeatable missions. So that's our update for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you guys later.